Good morning everyone, and welcome to day 2 in Prague. It is a toasty 2 degrees this morning. Nothing that phases me. So this morning we are starting the day off with a 15-minute walk to go get breakfast. Like yesterday I had the chimney cake. That is certainly not a Czech food. This morning I'll be having a very traditional Czech breakfast, which you will see shortly. Next thing on the list is to go past the tailor and hopefully he can mend my bag so I don't have to carry a backpack instead, which I much prefer having a bag on my chest that I can monitor and see. And then we're making our way to King's Casino for the main event, which starts at 12. I slept for 10 hours last night, certainly needed it, but feel very well rested and very prepared for the main event today. It's a 40-minute level, so not a fast structure, but not a particularly slow structure. It's a sort of time frame that I'm very used to in live events, so feel fine with that. This walking on the cobblestones is not particularly easy for one's feet, as the rocking motion is a bit tough on the ankles and the flat-footed. Those of you who are flat-footed. Very excited to try this breakfast. We are finally here. We made it to the kolachery for some very traditional kolach. That is a pastry, usually sweet, but you can get it savory. I'm gonna try, see if they have a savory option. It's a tiny little hole in the wall here. Very traditional Czech food, and I am very hungry. It's unfortunately going to be a bit too difficult to eat and film, so I'll just show you. I got a fig and blue cheese as well as a walnut one, obviously for the brain function, as well as a flat white with almond milk. Gotta say, I'm very impressed with the coffee here so far. It is delicious. So I'm gonna just finish this up, and then a little tip, Bolt is cheaper than Uber here, so gonna catch a Bolt to the tailor and then make our way into King's. We finally made it over to King's Casino, intertwined with the Hilton here. I really hope that I can manage to speak with someone about vlogging inside. They haven't replied to any of my emails, which is a little bit frustrating. Hopefully I can use the fact that I was approved in most casinos in Las Vegas as a reason to let me vlog inside there. Let's hope it goes well, and gonna go reg now. Okay, we are paid and registered for the 1100 euro Eureka main event. We're on the first break of the day after 3 levels. We are sitting on 46,000, so it has gone really well, very smooth. Not a lot of big hands. I've just been involved in a lot of small to medium-sized pots that, for the most part, have gone my way. I've extracted nice value. No real monster hands, but just gone very smoothly. The average stack is 33,000 from the starting stack of 30. So with 46,000, we're going back after the break to 200, 400, which is at level 4. And then we have a dinner break after level 10. Quite cool. Nikolai Mamut was sitting next to me at the table. He, for those of you who may not know who he is, he came 3rd in the 25k heads up at the World Series. He lost to Faraz Jaka. So it's just very cool seeing that. Of course, in these types of events, you are going to get some super pros. I just met Vanessa Cade. She's also quite a big pro. She took down, I stand to be corrected, I think it was $215 buy-in online on PokerStars, and she won it for 1.5 million about a year-ish ago. So that's quite the accomplishment. But now I'm gonna try find a little bit of food as I am a bit hungry. It's 2 p.m. and then we proceed with the rest of the day. Hopefully I can get some very cool hand breakdowns for you all and make it into the money today. I had a very good table, but just got moved to a new table that's opening. Hopefully it is just as good, if not better. Just made it to the second break. Extremely frustrating and annoying. Right at the end of the level, I was on 68,000. Average was 42, and I had two hands, two failed bluffs that I'm going to do a hand breakdown of. So the first one, blinds are 300, 600. I open King Jack off in the cutoff to 1400. The button, who was clearly the fish of the table, a very old man, zero bluffing, passive station, he flats on the button. The small blind, who looks like a bit of a reg, he 3-bets to 6,000, big blind folds. And in this sort of situation, I strongly felt that the small blind, a good player, was observant and he was just squeezing out the soft button who would have folded with a very capped range. So I decided to 4-bet. I think King Jack off obviously can never flat a 3-bet there. My options were either fold or 4-bet. I decided to take the more aggressive route. I block Ace King, I block Kings, I block Jacks. Ace Queen has a very difficult time. Ace Jack has a very difficult time. All the middling pocket pairs that possibly could be in his 3-bet range are gonna fold. So I 4-bet to 16,000. Button quickly folds and small blind tanked for about a minute and shoved. 5-bet shoved. Just very annoying. Had to give that one up for quite a lot of chips. The second hand breakdown. So I opened the button, again 300, 600 to 1400 with King 5 of diamonds. Small blind called and big blind called. The big blind is again that old man who is very happy to play against in position. Small blind, very quiet, very didn't play a lot of hands, very low VPIP, so also very comfortable playing in position. Flop came Ace, Ace 7 with 1 diamond. Checks to me with super range and nut advantage on this type of board. I c-bet 1.5k, expecting to take it down very often. Small blind called, big blind folded. Turn 8 of diamonds. So I now pick up the flush draw. I think that he is capable of floating with a lot of hands that have equity against my particular hand, or the backdoor straight draws, backdoor flush draws type of hands, small pocket pairs, those types of hands. I think the suited Ace X is gonna raise the flop a lot, as well as potentially 3-bet pre-flop. So when the turn 8 of diamonds comes, I pick up the flush draw. I want to push my equity and push out as much equity as I can. So I barreled for 5,300 and faced a quick call. Not very happy about the situation. I thought that if he had a hand on the weaker spectrum, that he would have thought about it for a while. So placed his hand in sort of a middling strength category. The river 5, so I now have a pair. The question is whether I have enough showdown or not. And I thought about it for a long time after he checked to me and decided to check back. He showed 6s, so my evaluation of the situation was very accurate. And I asked him afterwards if he would have folded to a big river barrel, and he immediately said, no ways, I hate folding. And I'm inclined to believe him. So I think we saved ourselves not barreling the river, but just annoying that I didn't have a better hand because I could have milked him really hard on the river with something. We're on break now. I have 44,800. The average is 43,400, so we're right about average. I had over 1.5 times average, but still got lots of chips, lots of playability, figuring out my table very well, and gonna keep grinding. We're on break number 3 of the day. A very, very different sort of experience that I had in the first few levels. I have really had to grind my arse to win every chip and save every chip. I'm sitting on 50,000, average is 55. The levels feel like they're going really quickly. I got moved to a table, figured that table out, and then got moved to a new table. So that's been a little bit annoying. I did get a massage at the table. The masseuses here are gorgeous, it's ridiculous. Makes it extremely tempting to just get a continual massage, but at €2 a minute, that is definitely not sustainable. So yeah, we're just going to keep grinding. Dinner break is in about 2 levels, and coordinating where to go. We're in the area of Karlin, which is quite an up-and-coming and hip neighborhood, so there should be a lot of good restaurants and good places to go. So looking forward to that. I'm very hungry, didn't eat lunch, had tiny little pastries for breakfast, so that'll definitely help us push through the night with some energy. The last hand of the level, I had deuces at a 6-handed table, decided to limp under the gun because very, very aggressive monster stack on my left. Everyone folded, blinds defended, and flop came 9-4 deuce. Small blind led for 1,500. I raised to 4,500. He called. Turn was a jack. He checked up at 9,500, and he seemingly reluctantly folded to my disappointment. But yeah, I'm feeling comfortable. We're going to go back to 600, 1,200, and just keep battling it out. Okay, we officially made it to dinner break. I am super steaming. I just couldn't get anything going. 3 levels, I did not win one single hand. Just getting either junk or getting 3-bit when I open and I don't have a hand strong enough to call, missing the flop and getting check raised. Yeah, just those are the moments you have to enjoy in poker. Had a tremendous first few levels, really rocketed forward, and now you have to grind it out. You'd always prefer to start slow and finish strong, but you have to adapt. Poker is a game of adapting to your environment and your particular situation. So I'm gonna have to grind out the 15 to 20 big blind stack size, and I'm gonna do some pre-flop reviewing during dinner. I just called a bolt. I would love to walk, but 75 minutes isn't that long, so I really want to make sure that I can grab dinner, review, be back in with more than enough time. I still feel confident. I think I've got my table sussed out a bit. I checked names via hand and mob, so I know who's at my table. And let's go grab dinner. So we're starting the meal off much like you would most Czech meals, with a beer. Of course, we are in a poker tournament, so this is a non-alcoholic beer. I would never drink any alcohol, as anyone who plays with me know, while playing poker. So, cheers. Really delicious, very apricot flavor, which I love. Brilliant crisp beer, good way to start off the meal. As a little holiday gift, they've provided us a table snack of pretzel with red lentil hummus that looks absolutely delicious. Our food swiftly arrived. I ordered the double patty burger that comes perfectly how I like it. Minimal garnishes, side of fries. Gonna dig into this. That's a very unique looking bun. Even gonna use that red lentil hummus as a dip for my chips. And we wrap up here, make our way back to Kings. It's actually ridiculous how many times I've been moved this tournament. It's my 5th table of the day. Just as soon as I start figuring out my table, they move me. So got a new table, back with Nikolai, very, very strong player. I'm gonna have to figure out the rest of the table again. Okay, so finally some positive momentum is flowing our way. We are on 85k, peaking in the tournament. Blinds are 1,000, 2,500, so we've got plenty. Average is 114, so we got just below average, but more than enough. The table that I moved to, that I at first complained about, is super fun and friendly. All the Scandinavian guys really love chatting, and some of them are very close to a lot of the top Scandinavian players, so exchanging stories is very fun. But I am on my way now to collect my media pass that PokerStars approved, so I can now film inside the venue, which is great. I've kind of had to sneak some of the photos of the hands at the table. I got shut on once, but now we've got media approval, so I'm going to go collect that now, and hopefully the positive momentum can just keep flowing. I think I've been playing very well. Proud of one hand that was a geographic population exploit. Brazilians are known to be very, very aggressive. So there was a hijack open, cut off a Brazilian, made a big 3-bet, and I cold 4-bet shoved with ace queen suited on the button. Got snap fold, which is great. That was the beginning of our positive momentum, and hopefully we can just keep going. Okay, I'm super pumped. I have 245k, average is 182k, and we are 6 from the money, so it is really getting close now. And I am probably second in chips on my table. Chip leaders on my right, which is even better because I have position on him. But got 2 very fun and exciting hands to do a breakdown of. First one, probably the best player at our table, opens in under the gun +1 to 8,000 at 4,000, 8,000. I am in middle position with ace jack off. Now decide to flat. We go heads up to a flop of jack 6-4 rainbow. Beautiful, perfect, couldn't ask for a better flop. Our opponent c-bets for 8,500, and I think it's a very common misconception that the hands such as ace jack you have to raise to protect your hand. In reality, the only bad-ish cards for you are king and a queen. There's only 8 of them. The rest of the deck is very favorable to you. So if he is a very wide player, which he was, big stack, lots of barreling potential, I would much rather play it as a call and let him bluff off to me. So I decided to flat. Turn was a deuce. Super draw board, and he decided to super size up to 32,000. Now in this case, I only had 85,000 back. So the turn was also a club, so a large portion of his range is now a flush draw, something like the nut flush draw, ace queen of clubs that has a lot of equity against me. Now I actually benefit from the equity denial, plus my raise all in isn't that much. So if he has a hand like a worse jack, I expect for the most part to get called in a fantastic situation. I shove 85,000 and he instantly groans very hard. Got someone who wants to say hello.
Hello guys.
Instantly groans very hard. He tanks for a while, proclaims that he has king jack. I somewhat believe him. He's a very good player, and he folds. So that was the start that put us in a very good position, chipped us up a lot, and the next hand took place immediately after. So this hand, I'm now in under the gun +1 with a bit of a better stack. I look down at pocket 8s, still at 2,000, 4,000. I open to 8,000. Next to act, asks me to see my stack. I show him, I observe him while he's asking me, and he 3-bets to 27,000. Folds round to me, and I think I have a very easy flat with pocket 8s here. Have a deep enough stack to set mine, and so I call. We go to a flop of 7-4-4. So it's quite a dicey flop as I have lowest overpair, and he has definitely got superior range and nut advantage on me here. I check in flow, and to my surprise he doesn't c-bet, which I think is a mistake, as due to his range and nut advantage he should want to press equity and put pressure on my entire range. So when he checks back, I really think that he's a weaker player and is capped at having a lot of just ace-king, ace-queen type of hands. Turn comes a jack, bringing in the backdoor spade draw. And I go for a bit of an unconventional-ish line, and I decide to lead, really trying to deny equity from the hands that I think he has. And I lead very small for 18,000, as I think he can still call with a lot of ace-king and ace-queen hard type of hands that now I want to call because I'm very far ahead. So he does peel my very small bet, and the river comes a very safe 6. I block the straight, even though I can never have a straight there. The only hands that I possibly could be worried about is exactly 9s and 10s. Those are a possibility, and I thought that I still want to lead my hand, but go for a very block sizing, because if I check and he bombs the river, I have no idea what to do. If he raises my block bet, I have a very easy fold. So I decided to go for the block of 20,000, and he moans and groans for a while and folds. And I would love to hear from you all what you think of my line in both of these hands, and let me know in the comments what you think.
the best analysis or reasoning as to what you think about my hands is going to win a very special prize.
If you have already called the table, please keep the cash face down and freeze the action. Just a reminder for all players, to be in the money, you have to bag at least one chip. This means anyone who will be eliminating today from the tournament will not be in the money. So players who will come back on day 2 will be in the money. Okay? So starting hand for hand, dealers please deal one hand. Small blind 3,000, big blind 6,000, big blind 100, 6,000. Flop. 8, 9, 8. Let's see two.
It's nice to have the king on the side.
Yeah.
Turn is 9.
King. Not so nice on the
And
top.
river.
Oh, or purple.
River is 6.
Thank you for not
We
going
lost
to the
one
bar.
player, so there are 3 players left. And congratulations, all players will pay you
came
like
back,
money.
huh?
You are all
Came
in the
back to
money.
the bar.
All in the money, and you are coming back on 7. We will restart at 11.
Made it into the
AM.
money.
11 AM.
Coming back for day
Now I'm
2.
going to give all the
Bagged a
bets
stack.
for all players.
Super happy. First event, 1 bullet, and we cashed. Now is the time to rest. If there's a cash game running today, I'm definitely going to play it. That's how degenerate I am, for sure. But we'll go see if there is one. And tomorrow we can spend the day exploring Prague instead of playing the next flight. Got to kind of mask my excitement walking out of here as there's still other tournaments running, but we are in the money. Super, super pumped. Made it to day 2, bagged.
Let's fucking go, baby.
Let's go. Yeah, made it with 235,000, averages 200k, and the blinds for day 2 are going to be whichever was the lowest level flight to finish to make it into the money. That's the blinds that we're going to be coming back with. For now, yes, I'm so happy that I've locked up a flag in Prague on my Hendon mob. I've locked up some profit in the main event, but now, you know it, we are going to find a cash game, my one true love. Just kidding. Yeah, let's go find a cash game and use that to sort of decompress from the day. There's nothing else. Prague isn't really a late night city from what I'm seeing. Certainly not my hostel, so nothing else to do tomorrow. We don't have poker early in the morning. Gonna spend the day exploring, maybe do some like a walking tour or museums. It is currently 2 a.m. so even though it's late, doesn't really feel like that for me, and hope the cash game is pumping and stacks are deep. Well, it's a fantastic start to the cash game. I just got stacked in a 2,000 euro pot. Got it all in on the flop of 10-6 deuce with queens versus this guy who genuinely I don't think can count to 5. Called my pre-flop 3-bet with 6 deuce and stacked off. So rebuying, and hopefully we can get it back from him. That truly could not have gone better. I kind of do have to keep my voice down as I'm in the center of the beautiful and massive Hilton Hotel. So the cash game area is kind of away from the tournament area. So you just have to be a bit quiet walking through, not wake everyone up, as it is 6:15 in the morning. Yep, I played the tournament for a total of 14 hours from 12 till 2. Went straight to the cash game, and now I am exhausted. The game itself, immediately, like 15 minutes into the session, bought in for 1,000 euros at 2.5, and I got stacked. Rebought and just went on an absolute tear afterwards. Every pot, just a lot of things went my way, and I found a really
Dude!
what's up? And I had an incredible exploit against this one guy who loved bluffing me on ace and king high boards when I was the pre-flop aggressor. Just loved it, just couldn't resist. The one hand he triple barrel donked into me on a on a draw king high board, 10-9 off, absolute air, just triple barrel donk. So I found out the best way to do it is to trap him. So every time I was out of position, check, he fired 3 streets, and he started with, say, a few thousand euros, and he left the table with 0. So he just bluffed it off and off and off, and most of it came to me. So really did super well today. I hope this sets a precedent with how well cash games are going for the rest of the trip, because if so, this trip is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. But for now, I really want to just get back into bed and rest up. I plan on having not a super busy day, but I also don't want to do nothing. Maybe some walking tours or museum. I feel like I've repeated that, I'm not even sure. But for now, it's good night, and see you all for day 3 later today. Cheers.